We're back with an episode 7 of PDC content. I'm Madior. As always, I'm here with you, and I have Mathmagician, Badger, and Off today with me. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright, give me 1 second to set up the very important PDC tag. And
Hell yeah.
And also, I should share my screen with you guys so you can actually see what I'm talking about in the Discord.
Sure.
Let's start out with some questions for you guys. Off, let's start with you. So you're no longer on your team.
Okay.
Tell us what happened.
Go right into
Tell
it.
us what happened. It was you were supposed to come here week 1 and you didn't. You know.
Well,
it didn't.
I mean,
happen.
I don't know. I feel like most of it just kind of came down to. I mean, I guess I'm toxic, which is, I mean, fair. I do get heated at times, but I don't know. I think most of it came from my comment towards our offlane that I pretty much stated after every single time we lost. That I feel like since our MMR combined of our like offlane duo is what, they're like 3,000 combined, plus or minus?
4.5 according to signups, but yeah.
4.5, okay. Sure. So from that perspective, I feel like they'll never win a lane. Because the average like +5, +1 combo is double that in this league, right?
Yeah.
So on paper, they'll basically always lose lane, and that's kind of what happens when we pick normal lanes. So I like in every draft, basically, where game 1 we would always pick a normal offlaner and lose, and then game 2 I would say, hey guys, I don't think we're ever winning offlane. What if we just pick 2 nukes instead and just nuke the carry? And then we do that, and then we have like mild success, kind of.
Mhm.
And like I feel like with that comment, most of the time that's what happened. But also we had one game where we had a stand-in, and I was upset. He was playing Warlock. I was asking him to heal me, and I was not getting healed, and I was not happy. But I mean, you know.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
What do you think about your mid? Because your mid was the biggest enigma for me when I saw the signups.
I mean, I would say I think he's like a skilled player. The only issue is right now I feel like the mid lane isn't really a role where someone like stomps or, you know, gets stomped. I feel like the lane just goes even in pretty much most cases.
Mhm.
So like, you know, like he went even in lane versus Jeffrey, which is like, I mean, I guess that's just the nature of the mid lane right now, right? He went even mid versus pretty much everybody we've played, and then like mechanically he pushes buttons very well. I think his only issue, in my opinion, and why I think I can't really work with him, is his shot calling. We just see the game differently, I guess. Like he would always call to push the enemy off lane tier 1, and to me that doesn't make any sense. Or he would call like, "Hey guys, it's 10 minutes. It's time to invade the triangle." I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree. That's not the most usual play that you see, you know, in leagues when I watch like lads plays or something. All right. Well, it happens. You know, sometimes you have different opinions in teams and stuff like that. So, Badger, how was your season? First season of 22K cap that you playing is going so far.
I've learned that I am no longer as good at carry as I was last time I was playing carry in amateur leagues. Last time I was playing carry in amateur leagues, I was pretty okay at carry, and now I am pretty awful at my role.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, your team is still good, right?
It's not. It is not because of me. My team is not 7-3 because of me, though. I think I have not played very well this season.
Okay, but it's still we'll say it's a team game and it's all worth it.
Amen.
Uh,
Amen.
My team, when we played you last week, my team didn't want to believe you're playing that's an Abba carry at all. I don't know why, but I knew it in my heart.
That's a good point. Badger got a direct buff. Abba carry is lit. It's all over the place.
I literally cannot play the hero carry, which is completely ironic considering I was playing the hero nonstop and not carry a role as last patch. But now they got buffed to be a viable carry. I literally cannot play a carry.
And Sauce is picking him the Abba carry. Like 15 minutes into the game, he's like, "Badger, you close to ratings?" You're like, "I got Aetherland's 4-staff, guys. Let's go get him."
Oh man, if I bought, dude, you play support Abaddon. I see you buying Aetherland's 4-staff. I'm running it down mid. That's how you buy support Abaddon.
Oh no.
But do you enjoy it overall, even without your team is pretty good still, and you probably have a good chance in the playoffs?
My team's pretty fun to play with. Yeah, I mean it's my mid laner is an enigma as well. Like I remember Alpha saying his mid laner's an enigma. My mid laner's awful an enigma. I never heard of this guy before I started playing with him. And he's played like the weirdest heroes, but he just like hard carries 2/3 of our games. It's like, oh wow, this guy's pretty good at Dota 2.
That guy is a sleeper. I think that guy's gonna have a lot of offers coming to him in next season, and still like half the league will not know who he is. It is very sad.
He almost had a lads team for last season of lads. It was between him and another player to play on a lads team, and they want the other player. But again, this is a guy that easily could be like 6K in a year.
Was it the Legacy team? The Underdogs?
No.
Okay.
I can't tell you who. It's confidential, but he almost had a lads team.
Fair enough. So besides you, there's one lads admin who has not played in PDC yet. Every season we have somebody. We had Birdman, we had Bulljax, we had Ka, we had Maguire as a stand-in on one team. So Guam is the only one who haven't come in. So tell me, do you want to play with him for the next season in PDC and bring us the magic of Guam?
I don't want to play with Guam, dude. I do not want to play with Guam.
Oh wow. Okay. Straight up, just said it. Just
Jesus.
Guam knows it to be. No, he's washed. He's very washed at Dota 2. He's not the greatest communicator.
Oh no.
I love me some USS Guam, but he's I wouldn't be shocked if he plays. I think he's played like MD12 before, so I wouldn't be too shocked if he plays PDC in the future with his friends. But he would be playing with like his friends, maybe Maguire, and not with me.
Okay, all right. But would you think about playing PDC again? Not with Guam.
I mean, I'm definitely considering it in the future, but I've been very, very busy with other stuff, so
right.
It's very possible. If I have the time, I'll definitely do it again. But
well, and while we're in the theme of other stuff, which probably you mean like esports and everything that's happening to DPC. Do you think the PDC has potential of replacing DPC as the main Dota circuit in the future?
Monkus.
I mean, I don't think you're replacing like Division 1 DPC with PDC. I think there's still obviously that room for like that sort of like Division 3 sort of DPC. I know a number of leagues have tried to sort of fill that role, but there's definitely room to do that. But the actual like Division 1, Division 2, there's no replacing that.
Okay, fair enough. So Matt, I didn't ask you any questions yet, and I do have some general questions about the league. So when I looked at the schedule for the playoffs, which I saw it All-Star Week, would you be able to tell us what it is? Or is it like just a bye week?
No, All-Star Week is going to be real. We're going to put together what we think are fun teams. It's not quite going to be Math D12 All-Stars, where there's a lot of drunkenness going on and overall shenanigans on a Friday night. But we are going to try to put together fun teams, 4 teams that somewhat represent each, both divisions, and do something like that. It'll probably still have to be a Thursday because I think a lot of people are still landlocked with other leagues, and that's fine. But we are going to be announcing that soon because All Stars is coming right up soon. We just felt bad, because of the team signups, we only had 8 per div, and we didn't really want to slam some inter-div matchups in there all over. We were happy with one for like a scrim week, but so we're trying to do stuff that's again a little bit more innovative and try to have people have fun during an All-Star week, because it seems like the ones that I've seen so far, either people are super try hard, or they no one wants to show up and everybody kind of just shows up out of the obligation. So we're thinking of some different challenges that we want to try to do for each set of games, or maybe like a spin the wheel thing. But yeah, we're trying to make something that's fun. We just need to get that all ironed out before we release the rosters.
All right. Well, I'm looking
Jay
at
Gillett for All Stars. Jay Gillett for All Stars.
I have to ask Sauce what his vibes are, because part of it is like, yeah, you can't have distractor comms, but like, would Jay Gillette like add to comms if I put him on a team with fucking? I mean, I don't think that he's even able to be in it, but like, if Joey and Bob, right? Like, what does Jay Gillette do whenever he has one techie's like suiciding onto a tower and his screen protector is like at a tier 3 meter hammering at 12 minutes? Like, what does he do?
Before the tier
like
two,
All
before the tier 2 is done as well, right?
You know
No,
who's
yeah,
on his
no,
team,
it's
right?
just
Like you realize he's on his team. Like you got me and Sauce
Yeah.
and everything. Like he can deal with whatever.
Okay.
Like he's ready to do whatever he has to do. Like this man is playing Furry on mid, TPing the other lanes at minute 6. He's ready to game.
And he's going Mask of Madness and Furion, which is something I've personally never seen before ever.
What Envy does. Envy builds Mask of Madness on every hero nowadays.
Who?
And Eternal Envy.
Oh,
Jackie.
True.
He went Mask of Madness Slark, man. I was cursed. I
Well,
saw it on stream.
that was a build before the mask started to silence you.
Yeah, well,
Like
you can't dispel the silence.
really a long time ago. People
Yeah.
used to go Slark Mask of Madness. But back
Now
then,
you
probably
just-
every character went Mask of Madness, or like could go in theory.
True.
Alright, Matt, the second and last question I have for you. So last season, a lot of people complained about the finals being on the weekend and being like all weekend thing. And this season, it's still a full weekend thing.
Damn right, baby.
So explain to us why. Why did the admin team decide on that?
Yeah, we had some feedback forms sent out at the end of PDC Immortal and at the end of PDC Season 2, and both times we had either overwhelming or slightly positive still towards the tournament weekend. So every time that we sent out feedback, the people have responded saying they still want to do the weekend tourney. So no matter how many times we try to say tell us to do something different, the majority of people who are interactive in the league will click on the content thing and click on the forums. Every time we have that, we get that people still want the tournament weekend.
Yeah, I'm just saying because last season I was one of the our finals. I remember last day one of the teams didn't show up at all, and both me and Legacy were 2 stand-ins each. So it was an experience for sure.
I know, yeah, and that's why it sucks that it's like 60-40, like 60 for tournament weekend, and 40 for not, which is still like bad, right? Like you have 40% of people who like don't want to do that, but then you also have the 60% of people who are like, oh no, like this works for me, I can get it all done, and now we're not extending the league for another 4 weeks where people lose interest and we have to start checking out a new season.
Honestly, if it would be up to me, my suggestion how I would want to see it, I want to see a grand finals just on a separate day from lowers, and maybe make grand finals best of 5 on a separate day, and lowers on the before that. But that's something you want to think about. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, because that would only really extend it to the Thursday, right?
Yeah, just add lower quarters or whatever. Added one week for Thursday, and then after Thursday on a Saturday and Sunday, it's still the same, but just on the grand finals on last day.
Yeah, just shift it over one day. Yeah, I could. Here, I mean, we're gonna
Yeah,
be putting
just-
out feedback forms again. I'll try to put that in as
Yeah,
a
and,
suggestion, so see how many people gravitate towards that.
Alright, and with questions about your good teams and the leagues and everything over, we can go over to the power rankings, which is not that interesting as your rankings badger for the lads, because I do them every week, so there is not that much change week to week here, and not that much to say. Last week though was pretty surprising. There were a lot of the panel didn't do that well.
Oh no.
Panel had some issues. Yeah, panel had a bad week. We 1 week we're good, 1 week we're bad, 1 week we're good, 1 week we're bad. It goes back and forth all the time. So your guys now should be on the week that should be a good week. So we'll see.
Hell yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
Where we succeed.
But yeah, Badger, your team is still at 4, primarily because the teams who were 5 and 6 before that, Chaz and Jeffrey, they both got 2 old as well. So it's kind of hard to drop you. You're still 4th best team in my eyes. We'll see where it goes from there. New Braden soccer team is very interesting after they changed players. I think they're really good, but we'll see what they show. I don't remember who they played this week. They played Ben Shoei, which is another team that has been on the rise lately. They've been like either winning or one-winning all the last weeks after starting out pretty badly. But otherwise, the power rankings are here for whoever is interested in them. Do you guys see one team that you would place in a completely different place? Let's start with off.
I mean, I think Gazelle got a huge upgrade. I will be honest. I think they did what they should have done all along, and just not have both supports be very low MR.
Mm-hmm.
They got a legend support now, and they just have actual mid player, because I forgot his name already, I'm sorry. The current mid player they had when I was there, he is actually just a carry player. He's asked me multiple times, like, hey, you want to play mid this game? And I said, hey, give me the Dragon Knight. And he said, no, I'm playing the Dragon Knight. And I'm there suffering in lane. And he's, enjoying himself going even in lane as Dragon Knight. So, yeah, I think him playing carry is a huge upgrade because he's a carry player. I think them having, like, kind of a mid player is good. And the fact they now actually have a support player who is not Guardian is, like, a huge upgrade.
Okay. Well, I'll be playing them this week, so we'll see how good they are.
It's over.
They did win last week, though, so, the improvement's already there. They 2-0'd the Chaz team, which nobody of us expected here. But, I'm still cautious about, like, a team that was bad all season long, basically, except, like, very start when you showed promise. Cautious optimism for me. Badger, one team to put
I'm seeing a big flaw here. You got Brayton Soccer at number 5. This is a team with Artorias. Artorias Dota 2 on it. You have them ranked number 5. The Artorias 13. This guy, you got our team number 5. You got our number 5. You gotta drop him down to like 15 or something with Artorias in the team.
Oh
no
my
way.
god!
No way. That's
I actually swapped Brayden Soccer and Gazelle. There we go.
Like if they have a standard for Artorias, then maybe it's 5. But if they have Artorias in there, drop them all down, all the way down.
Dude, Jesus, man, chill out.
I was so surprised. I was looking at his signups and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, hey, we have like 7,000 MMR just under that we have for a pause for Artorias. Do you want to join this team?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." After I haven't played rank for so long, I'm like 6.1, and I'm like, "Ooh."
Dude,
wow.
I've watched his games. He streams against. He's been struggling to 6-1 games, man. He's been struggling.
It's rough.
Well,
I
your lads team is doing fine.
That's despite the support duo, though. Despite the 5 player, despite the 4 player.
Aren't you like 7-1 in lads or something, or 8 or 9-1 now?
Despite the support duo.
So why then last season they were so bad when they had the Smack and the Sauce instead? Are you saying you're still better than Smack and Sauce, even with their choices?
I'm gonna catch 22 right now, cause I mean, Sauce is learning about Captain right now, so I can't trash talk him.
You can trash talk Smack anytime. Anytime. It was all him. Sauce was good, but Smack just dragged it down too far.
Fair enough.
I think Andy Benny's on a new level. He's got me on the team, and I'm just me and Andy. We have a fun time together.
True.
We're RuneScape gamers together. We're Dota gamers together. He calls me his cute little kitten. We're having a great time.
All right, Math. Go ahead as well. One team you'll place a different place.
I think this is gonna sound terrible. To clarify, I don't think that off is toxic. I will say that. I don't think that that's the reason that he got off the team. I think you have a team of people who all have some very particular comps that they like, whereas all very happy-go-lucky. I am also someone like that, except I also played sports where people yelled at me a lot, so I kind of just like, anytime that someone says stuff to me, I usually just like kind of shrug it off and go. If you ever played a team, Badger I know has, with Andy and Jim, that is the kind of comms that I think that this team really wants to have, where it's like everybody is looking inward to themselves, and that's it. And they all, like, you don't really talk to the other players about how they play. You just let them do their own thing. If they lose the game, well, you lose the game and you just go home, and you realize that your team is bad. And that's kind of what they want to do. So I think that Gazelle got one of his friends in Matketh, and they also got a drastically, I will say this, a huge downgrade in the carry role from off, from what they had before. But I think that because their vibes kind of like mesh together a bit more, I would also agree that like this team is slated for lower bracket right now. I think they're definitely going to dive up into the upper bracket and maybe even secure themselves a 3rd slot.
Okay, all right. I mean, I don't think that's unfair. I'm just always cautious, like, in the first week after the teams just start shooting for me. 2 weeks of improvement is what I need. Yeah. Like, for example, if they go on 2-0 this week, then they obviously skyrocket, and nobody knows what will happen. But we're about to predict what will happen instead, though. here. And the first game is Samada versus Princess. Let's start with Badger. What's your prediction for this game?
Oh God. I mean,
If you need help, I can show you rosters if you don't know the teams.
I'm pulling up right now. Don't worry. I'm just.
Okay.
Let me know.
I just look at this these teams, and again, I like the way Samada is structured MMR wise. They have a lot of MMR in their cores. I like these teams that have 3 MMR cores that are very good. I think this is generally what works in a lot of these amateur leagues. And again, so far you look at it, it's like, hey, they've done pretty all right. I mean, they're at the top of their group for a reason, so I'm just gonna give them a 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, it should be noted. I know that like Prince's team was on a rise. At some point, I ranked them 16th, I believe. Yes, earlier than 16th. They was 15th. And after that, they just kept winning. Like they're 8-4, and I think they're like 2-0 every week basically right now, in less like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, they won you guys, Math, and then they 2-0 and 2-0 the last weeks.
No.
Last 2 weeks. So like they're on the rise. And Math, what's your prediction for this game?
I think the Princess team had a really rough start to their schedule, because they played Legacy like pretty early on, as far as I remember, and then they also had like a C-Day incident, I think, for one of the games. But otherwise, this team has only dropped 4 games, and only one of them is an 0-2, right to the top team, or one of the top teams, I would say, in the division. So they are going to lose 2-0 this week, unfortunate. But I will say that their fluctuation is purely because of their schedule, and I think this is still like a in their division top 3 team.
Okay, off.
I mean, this is hard because I've played with Sam before. I think he's good, but his team has U by Wars on it. I had the pleasure to play versus his team, and he went dataless Ags on Luna. If he wins,
none of his games have YBW on them.
I mean, he's on their team. Maybe he stood in. I don't know, but that was something. I don't know.
Okay, well, YBW not on the team. Maybe he stood in for some or something.
Yeah, he stood in
for like every game in a week straight. I mean, I don't know. The other thing is the Princess team has Sinatra, and
that's just goated.
I mean, I would like to say that, but I feel like his laning is subpar at best. I feel like if he doesn't get some like crazy cheese matchup last week, he will lose the lane, then they'll lose the game. So to me, this is hard. I'd say 1-1.
Okay. I will go with a 2-0 for Samada. I think that they're best team in the league until like proven that they can be beaten, and like they're only got 1-1 by Legacy. Like I think if it's any other team except for Samada, even if it's Legacy right now here, I would give it 1-1 because Princess is like on such a good streak. But
I believe that, yeah.
For now, Samada's team is too good. Even though they have one thing that will say, they didn't play for literally 2 weeks. They had a forfeit 2 weeks ago, and last week's game was delayed. So they might be a bit rusty. Who knows? Next game, C-Day versus Not Milk. Let's start with Math this time.
Yeah, I mean, we played them last week. I thought the team had a good showing in game number 2. We did kind of fuck around in our draft, but I don't think that takes away from how well they still played in that game number 2. We made some pretty critical mistakes, and they played a better late game than us at the end. The Not Milk team, as always, had some struggles, right? Like they, first off, their MD12 struggles, but also I think that there is a very clear bottom in our division, and they take up a good portion of it. So I will say this is going to be a 2-0. I think for C-Day. I think they're going to show that they can take a late game.
Okay. Off.
We're switching up the order.
Yep, I'm trying to. If I don't forget.
I mean, probably C-Day. I think it's a patch where I think C-Day's team just thrives. I don't know. This patch is just miserable. Just 2-0 C-Day.
All right, Badger.
I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna say 2-0 because I'm in favor of the side of Not Milk. I know you guys are all counting Not Milk. I look at this roster. There's a lot of like amateur league veterans here. They should have the MR to win in like 2 of the lanes. Obviously, if Safe Lane's going to get run over by C-Day, but I think the R2 lane should go really well, actually. I think K-Stig should have a pretty good series, and as a result, actually, I'm going to think off laning phase success, it's going to go 2-0 in the direction of Not Milk.
I will go safe and I'll go 1-1. I think the teams are evenly matched, even though like they're good at different things. but I kind of think both of them are not that great, personally. And I'll agree with two of my panelists who are not here but made their predictions as 1-1, and I'll put it 1-1 as well. Next, Matt, we have your team against Legacy, so you'll get to start again here.
I think we're gonna get 2-0. I don't
What?
know. I think
Bro, what's up with negativity, man?
I think last week we did some cool stuff, but my team is like hell bent on 1-1ing. And I don't think we're even gonna get one game. I think my team is actually going to go in saying, let's just lose the first game so we can win the second one, and then we're just gonna end up losing both games.
Okay, Shane is getting too tuned onto 1-1ing every team in every league he plays, but I think it's fair. Badger.
Wait, so you're telling me, Math, you have not only do you have you on this team, it's your own team. You got Tint on the team, and you got Shane on the team. You have no faith in beating, in winning some games. Maybe you don't believe in your own team, but I believe in Tint. I'm gonna give you guys a 2-0.
You should absolutely believe in Tint, but I believe that Killjoy is going to tell me at 7:59 that he is at a robotics conference and I need to get a sub for him. And then I'm going to play Punch Venom in the offlane and just have fun with Chase, and then we are going to lose 2 games in a row.
Okay, assuming your team actually shows up, then I believe in Tint and I believe in Shane. I will
That's
give you a
fair.
2-0.
Yeah.
And you don't believe in Hobbs?
So Hobbs is a green hero enthusiast, and you've heard my opinions about green hero enthusiasts.
True.
I have dangerously based Dota opinions right now.
Alright. Off?
I mean, I think math is just match fixing, so I don't know. I think it's easy to for Legacy.
Yep.
I'll say it's
arrive
an
soon.
easy 1-1 for match fixing Shane who wants to 1-1 in every league, and his dream will be achieved.
I'm gonna look real. I'm either gonna look real intelligent or real stupid in the week. I'm going against the grain in every single pick.
I think
I mean-
the Sam one is good. You got that one right. I think your not Nelk one is based, but like there's only 2 wins separating them, so that one's, you know, whatever. This one, yeah.
Next one, Sev versus Tia. Let's start with Badger.
I feel like the Sev team should be better than they are. Like, you look at the actual results so far, and this team has not been good at all. Look at the teams on paper. It's like a really actually good team. They should be winning more games than they are. Now playing, I want like the bottom feeder sort of team. So I think it's a good chance for Jim and for Sev to rebound. It should be a 2-0 for Sev.
Okay. Yeah. I put him in like in the top. I put him in 5th to start the season, and like ever since I don't know, they just didn't. They were playing too much RuneScape, which is what I was telling to say. But hey, you're playing RuneScape as well, and your teams are doing good. So what do I know?
I was gonna say I saw the excuse at that point.
Nah, Sev was on here, and I joked about RuneScape and that week when he came to content. But yeah. All right, Math.
RuneScape is the silent killer.
2-0 for
Takes many
Sev.
lives each year. I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 2-0 for Sev. I honestly think that team is going to start being like, oh hey guys, it's getting close to playoffs. We're gonna try something out. You know, maybe give it our all in this game, and I think they're going to kind of dominate both of these.
Yeah, when Safe came here, he said that they are obviously for fun team, but being a for fun team and losing every game is not fun.
No, it's not.
So yeah, off. Your prediction.
No, I mean, I think Sev 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll say 2-0. I just think that Tia's team is also a for fun team, but they're just worse player wise. Like they're both for fun teams, but one just has better players on paper, so it'll be just like that. Next one, Badger. Your team is playing Courier 6 in snow, which is not the snow from Lads. It's a different snow. It's empty tail snow.
There's like 6 people named Snow, I'm used to at this point, but I mean, I think we're gonna 2-0. I can't say we're not gonna 2-0. Even if I believe we're gonna lose, I still don't believe. I'm still gonna say 2-0 for my team. And again, I mean, our team is 7-3. They're 2-6. We should win these games. Again, we're gonna pick like Spectre or some real carry, and not Abaddon, and we'll win. I'm sure.
I mean, Abaddon is a real carry.
Out of my hands, it's not.
Well, it's like one of the. I mean, it's not one of the highest, but it has pretty high win rate. So.
A lot of it's about like self-awareness. Like you gotta be aware of what your own style is. Right?
Maybe you should watch my replay on Abaddon and Lads. pick up some info how to play in Hero, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Anyway, Matt, your prediction.
I think it's gonna be a 1-1. I think Sauce is gonna win one game, realize he secured second place, not caring about first place, and then he's gonna pick the most jank ass shit in the world for game number 2, and they're going to 1-1.
Does he secure second place with the win though?
He should.
What if
I think
if
wait.
Bishoy wins out, then they
I
can get
think
second still.
everybody.
Oh, is Braden 6? Oh.
Braden 6-4, and every one of us has a game on the makeup week.
Oh.
So there is still a lot of
he
stake.
might.
Like all top
shit.
4 teams have games on makeup weeks still.
Monka S. I'm still going 1-1. I gotta hold to it.
Okay, all right. Off.
I mean, probably 2-0 sauce. I mean, the seedings are just insane, I would say.
I'll agree on 2-0 for Sauce. The Career 6 team is just not very exciting to me. Alright, Ben Shoei versus Braden soccer teams. 2 teams who started out not looking that great. You know, one team changed the roster, one team didn't, but still got better. What will happen? Off. You're first this time.
Oh boy. Okay, I don't remember who was on Braden Soccer's team. I think I played them, but
I don't remember who is a
has-
new Braden soccer team. It's
Yeah,
Andy
he
Bendy, Buying Onions, or Taurus.
holy. Yeah, oh, this is the team with the 0 mark combined safe lead.
Yes,
I
but
remember
I
that.
think they're doing. I think they're swapping lanes, and I think they're doing Andy Bendy 1, Buying Onions 2, something like that. At least that's what I heard at some point from Braden.
It depends on who shows up. If they all show up, then it's usually Andy mid because JGR, they're one player there. Like he still wants to play 1. So they're going to continue that, which I think is the charm of the team, and I hope they continue to do. But if they do have any stand-ins come through, they usually shift up a bit.
I mean, I would say Braden Soccer probably 1-1, maybe 2-0. I just don't think carry is like a position that matters this patch, I'll be honest. This is a base take, but then carry is irrelevant. If the game ends in 20 minutes, or it doesn't, and I don't know.
I think it's kind of all the time like that. If game ends at 20 minutes, you don't care. You don't matter as a carry. And if game
But like
goes
at least last patch you had Lina, right? Lina comes online before 20 minutes, so you at least get to have 1 fight before the game ends. But now they're like the only good carry is like Abaddon. What the fuck is Abaddon?
it's not the
Or like
only.
the
It's not the
Planks-
only
I
good
don't know.
carry. There are a lot of good
I mean,
carries.
sure, you have Slark and Ursa, but Slark and Ursa, they don't work if their lane is bad.
Well,
Like
what
if
about
they get dumpstered in lane, it's over, right?
well, Anti-Mage and Naga have 57% win rate each as well. for
yeah,
what
but
it's
their
worth.
sample size are like
I-
astronomically less than the other 3, right?
Well, it's not
They're like,
astronomically. So according to Pro Tracker, Anti-Mage has 500 games played, Ursa has 850, Drow has like 700, Spectre has 700, so it's not that low. His pick rate is not...
Yeah, I mean, also these heroes, I feel like aren't like impact heroes, right? Like, I don't know, man. That's just my opinion.
I'll just
like,
say-
you have an Inspector team is
My
not
opi-
going to do anything.
My opinion
against
in, like,
you.
for example, why heroes like Anti-Mage or PA, when they're at least decent, like when they're playable, I think they're really good in 22k, because you can split push and people will not be able to catch you. Like, if you're a good carry player, you'll just be able to just dodge everything on the map and split push to death. That's how I view them, but... Anyway,
Fair.
Badger, your prediction?
So you tell me they get rid of the Grind King himself, Strider, and they bring in Artorias? 0-2 for Braden Soccer. 2-0 for B Shilly.
Alright.
Jesus, this.
Is it Artorias? I heard what he said about me. He's got it coming.
Jeez, okay.
Alright, Math?
I think I'm gonna give this one a 1-1. I think this team is very good at surprising you with the draft. This Beach Chili team. So I would say that on paper the Braden soccer team should probably win, but I feel like in one of these drafts I'm gonna be like, Ricky got nerfed, right? We don't need to ban that anymore. And then B Shelly's gonna run around meteor hammering you, and you're not gonna be happy anymore. Or one of their secret stats that they have busted out in the season, the bounty hunter tinker. Also,
Wait, Matt, I have a question. Does anyone like scout for this team now? Like, on this Braden team? Does anyone actually like check Dota buffs? I know
I don't
Andy
know if
Bendy
they
and
do.
Artorias will not be.
I
I
that's
feel
what I mean.
100%
Like, I don't-
confidence they will not be checking that. So there's a good chance we're just going to let the Ricky through.
That's what I mean. Like I don't think that they've ever.
I'll
cared enough
just
to
I'll
scout.
just say, so last week their team did play and Ben Show team won, and their opponents did ban Ricky every game, even though this was post patch. So
Someone who scouts. I don't believe in Braden Soccer 22's ability to scout.
Jeez.
All right.
didn't teach him that.
I'll predict 2-0 for Ben Chili, my boy Plupo. He's on the revenge tour after a bad start. Plupo's position 3 is too good. And also I need to get points against Shane's and Legacy's predictions.
Oh man.
Jeffrey versus Chaz. Two teams started out. I thought like Jeffrey team wouldn't be so good. Then they did perform pretty well. Chaz also started pretty well, but last week 0-2 for each one for them. What happened this week? Math.
I really wish I could watch this matchup. This is gonna be a sick one. I think the Chaz team is going to take it 2-0. I've heard the Jeffrey comms. I hope that they bring it back together. I know that they had a sub in for last week, but the comms have seemed to be getting a bit weird for them. If they fix that, then they'll probably be okay. But I don't know if that's going to turn around so quickly, so I'm going to give the 2-0 to the Chaz.
Okay. Also, like, Chaz team is using, like, a stand-in almost every game. So it's like, I think it's also a question of, is everybody actually coming in their team? I think, like, Reed didn't come a lot of last couple weeks, so they use a lot of stand-ins for him. Badger.
It's a hard one to predict because I feel like this Chaz team. We played them and I feel like they weren't playing up to the sum of their parts. But again, you look at the individual players in this team, and there's some really good individual players. This team probably should be winning more games than they are, to be honest. I'm leaning towards I'm gonna say 2-0 in favor of the Chaz.
Okay. All right. Off.
Is we the permanent player for the Chaz team?
Yes.
I mean, I think we got nerfed by the patch. So I think the Chaz are gonna lose 0-2. I'll be honest.
Can you elaborate why?
Well, we gained like 1,000 million MMR playing Lina, and Lina's gone. I don't know.
I thought he was always around 4K, no? Was he low?
Yeah, but he had like a 75% win rate on Lina over like 40 games.
Okay.
And nobody's gonna ban it at first phase. He's gonna pick it, and then it's just not gonna be as good anymore. And then he'll just feed, I think.
Okay, fair enough. I'll go with a safe 1-1. I think teams are pretty even, and I cannot decide which one of them is better. Next is my game versus Gazelle. I'm betting 2-0, and I'm not explaining why I'm thinking my team is good. Let's start with Badger.
I mean, your team 2-0'd us, and the collective rest of the league took one game from us, so your team's pretty good. You're in a 2-0.
Okay. Off?
Probably 1-1. I think the Gazelle team, game 1, they're probably going to get curb stomped, and then game 2, they're going to pick some Giga Tower defense, and you guys are going to play a 2-hour game, and then someone's going to fall asleep, and you guys are going to lose.
Okay. Alright. Math?
I'm also going to go 2-0. For Gazelle, baby! They're taking it home!
Holy base!
Alright. Base takes coming in to finish up our predictions. And with that, last thing we have to do today is to discuss our first surprise of last week. Which matchup or anything that surprised you from last week? Let's start with Off.
I mean, Gazelle touring Chaz was pretty big. I kind of expected it because the team got a huge upgrade, but at the same time, it's still pretty impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair point. For me, it's like just straight up the new Gazelle team. Like, I'll say that, you know, like, we predicted at the start of the season the first team to disband. Obviously, I got right with Mana prediction. I had the inside information, but, like, we had a lot of questions towards your team, and it's obviously not a disband, it's, you know, kick 2. But still, like, you know, questions were rightfully asked about your team. Let's put it this way. Badger, what's your surprise of last week?
The funny part is my surprise apparently was no surprise for everyone else in the entire league, because even though I'm surprised we lost, everyone else was losing 0-2, so maybe it's not surprised we lost. I'm looking up seeing a lot of 0-2 for my team, and turns out they were all correct, so maybe it wasn't a surprise.
Are you sure you don't want to save that for disappointment of last week, though? Because you cannot select the same one for both weeks, and I have surprise and disappointment.
Oh god, what surprised me then? That's my question. What are the other things that would have surprised me? I mean, I'll find a different disappointment.
Okay.
That's a surprise.
All right. Math. Surprise of last week.
I am actually, like, I don't know. I guess I'm not, like, crazy surprised that Braden Soccer won both games, but I thought that whenever I put that team together, I was like, I think this team is going to be like severely under MMR. Braden Soccer again, literally, I think he's actually at 40 MMR right now. He does not have a whole lot on him, so you have like that basically 1,000 that you're missing, plus the 1,000 that we were missing to cap for Artorias. So I thought that they were going to be significantly under fire, and they actually still won both games. I think if they won one, it would be like, it would make sense to me. But even though, like, I think the Courier team has some light on them, I'm still kind of surprised that they got 2-0'd.
Okay. All right. So I already told you my surprise of last week. Next disappointment of last week, and here I will go. I'll start with myself this time. I will go with the DKMP, just not being able to win PDC games. He stood in for 3 different teams. And he lost every game he stood in. He stood in for 2 different teams last week, and he lost every single game. And for DKP being like a really good mid laner, and it's like probably like top 2 or top 3 mid laner for PDC. You know, if he would play, probably on the comparable like with like Fury and like I don't know who else, but. For him to not be able to win any games, it's pretty sad.
Dude, looking at his throw-offs is hilarious. Look at all these like teams he's playing for in different leagues. He's like the universal mercenary. He's standing in for everybody right now.
That's what you get for being friends with everybody and everybody loving you. Everybody wants you to play for their team. So.
We had a MD12 scrim against him and Sev, and he picked the Ricky, and he absolutely like obliterated us. It was so surprising because I think I was watching that game where he picked up the Ricky for the PDC match. I could not believe that he didn't just mulch Braden Soccer 22 team, because I'm pretty sure I thought that's who he played it against. Maybe I'm
no,
wrong
he played
on that
against the Gazelle new team.
Oh yes, okay, yeah, and I just, especially again like the Gazelle team. That's what I was thinking about it. They have 2 players that I thought were like somewhat low MMR, and that he would just eat up. And I mean, he still had 19 kills. I'm surprised.
I mean, I watched the game, and then in the late game, they just didn't have the damage to kill the Spectre. That's what basically was happening. Like, they had Spectre and Centaur as the carries, and Ricky just doesn't have enough DPS to kill that. Yeah. Like, that's it. Like, he pressed his stuff, and those heroes did not die. So.
Pretty sure this was like somewhat throwaway of a game too. Not like they like intentionally threw at the end or something.
15k net worth leaded 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This was a big throw. Yeah.
They had the opportunity to win this game.
All right. Well, let's go back to what is disappointment levels. Badger, you had time to think.
My disappointment is all the unplayed series. You know, it's a Dota 2 league. You're to play some Dota 2 series. I've seen a lot of delayed series, a lot of unplayed series. Big disappointment to me. Because I mean, obviously, what's the point of a Dota league if you're not playing Dota games? That's my disappointment of the week.
Amen. We have so many makeup week matchups already.
Yeah, what do we have? Like 2, 3, 4, 5.
We have 5.
5. Yeah.
We have almost an entire actual week of games because of
God.
Well, I mean, the makeup week is there for a reason. You know, like probably for some of these before, like in the previous seasons, people would decide to play like with 2 stand-ins. But now teams know that they needed 2 stand-ins. They just decide, hey, let's go to the makeup week. Yeah. So, you know. All right, Matt, go. What's your disappointment last week? And please don't go the same. Please don't say.
No. I will. I think my disappointment is the Jeffrey team. Again, I think that their comps have been a little worse for wear lately. I want to see them pick it up because I think a lot of the people on their team do have like typically very good vibes. You know, you think about Tempest, Jeffrey, B-God, right? That's a solid 3 where I would love to be on a team with those guys. I would really enjoy that. So I don't think that like Hulk is destructive to comms at all. I just don't think he talks like as much as everybody else. But yeah, no, I wanna see this team really improve. I think that they have the skill on everybody and also the comms to do it. It kind of hurts me. I think I need to see B-God step it up a little bit. I think his pause foreplay has lacked a little bit to be desired, especially from what he used to play, right? Like, B-God is at Legend, I think, 4 right now, but B-God used to be a solid Ancient support. And I think right now we're actually seeing a little bit below Legend play from him. So I need to see him step it up a bit, all right? This week, hopefully, will be the start of it, but I think a lot of this anchors in him having good comms and leading this team around.
Okay. Off, your disappointment last week?
I'm fucking tilted. Matt stole mine. I was literally looking at it like, what the fuck happened in game 2, and how did they say would have a game? I don't understand.
No, you can't say. Okay, I'll allow disappointment saying the same disappointment for a game. I'll allow that.
Dude,
you just
game
get
2,
copycat.
okay? 15th pick Ursa, okay? And then he got countered by 3 heroes. I would say PL Viper Bad Rider, unplayable, and somehow he still had a game, and they still fucking lost. I don't understand.
That's the YV effect. YV, like, okay, so we looked at his Dota buff whenever he signed up, and we were like, holy shit, this guy is signing up at 5.5. We need to do something. And we looked at it. He had been chain queuing. He had been playing like 20 ranked games per week, and we were like, well, shit, he's actually 5.5 right now. He actually, the military turned him into a terrible Dota player. That's rough.
Well, actually, he's immortal right now. He's ranked 2.1.
He's climbed a little bit, but like still, his Ursa is phenomenal. That is still like a very good hero. It is definitely, I think, into any matchup he could probably play it like somewhat decent. His team definitely let him down. If you give YB the Ursa and you guys lose, like it's on you, man.
Yeah, I'll say also about this game. Like, I'm not on board with Last Pick Jakiro, which is like off lane here. Like, they have the damage for Ursa can kill the PL if he's stunned pretty fast. You have Lash for the AoE damage.
They picked that into PL?
Yeah, so like they pick it like for the damage on the PL, but I'm not sure. Like, you need the instant stun. In order to kill PL, you need to stun him. So I'm not sure I like the Jakiro, which is okay. I understand the point of like Ice Path. And like, I wouldn't be against Jakiro support against the EPL, but seeing those 4 heroes, I'm not sure I'm on board with enough lane Jakiro to finish it up here.
I would not want to play that. Jesus Christ, that's like, I feel like anytime that like I play Veno, I also play the Jack off lane sometimes. Like, I hate heroes that have a dispel. Like, that's one of the worst things that I can play against.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they were forced to swap lanes. You see, like he played in the safe lane in the end as a +3. Yeah. Which is like, and you bring that onto yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
really hard to feel bad about someone who 24 picks that like for themselves, right? Like, yeah. I get it. You get 24 pick the PL, and you're like, damn, this is gonna be rough. But dude, you picked it into yourself. You can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a 5 Jakiro is fine because you have AoE damage, you have a stun, but off lane, not that hot about that. All right. Now the last thing that we have for today before I let you guys go is if you could watch one game from next week, which one would you watch? And let's start with Badger.
I mean, if I want to see one matchup, I want to go see Seth's team play. I made a bold prediction that this team's been losing all their games is going to win their games. I want to see Jim play. I want to see Jim pop off, have like a 30-0 over the 2 game situation. I just want to watch my boy Jim play, my boy Seth play.
Amen. I want to hear those comps too. I think they're going to be pretty happy in this game.
Okay. Off. If you could watch one game.
Well, I think it kind of depends. I'd like to watch you versus Gazelle, but you know. And then the other game I'd kind of like to watch is Jeffrey and Chaz. I think that game is pretty close, and I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Okay. Math.
I think I want to watch Braden Soccer 22 versus B Shilly. Not only am I emotionally invested, but also I think it's absolutely fucking funny to watch Braden like shallow grave a Hellbear creep right next to Andy. Andy dies and then and just be like, "It's okay, Braden." Just like pats him on the head and lets him run back to base. I like seeing that happen.
Yeah, and I have them as well, and I think it shows, you know, like the 3 teams that have been here on like at least on my list of matches I would watch more than once are Ben Show's team, Braden, and the Gazelle. And I think like those just teams are like most interesting to watch, like from the standpoint how they play and like the team, like how the team comps, especially, you know, like especially when they had an 8k +4, that was hilarious. And be stomping on everybody in Elder Titan, but you know, still like it's an interesting game, and I think teams are evenly matched, and like both teams are in upswing. You know, like if you're watching Jeffrey Chaz, both teams are in a downswing, and after one of them will win, if one of them will win, it will not be a 1-1. It's still hard to say what exactly happened, right? And like these teams, I think a lot of it's like this team is. It's like pretty much like about like a lot of it is about the placement in the playoffs. Maybe even like borderline like which team gets upper bracket, which team gets lower bracket, depending on what happens in other games. So a lot of it is to be decided in our group. I think your group is way more set up already. I would be really surprised if one of you 4 lost.
So polarized.
Yeah, I think like I would be really surprised if any of you 4 lost your upper bracket here. And here, I think like Braden Soccer, Ben Shoei, Gazelle, Chaz, and Jeffrey, all of them can still go into the upper bracket.
For sure.
Like
it almost brings like a concern. Like if you were to switch around, Jeffrey and Chaz, and you were to put them into our division, like depending on who you took out, like would they make top 4? I think that definitely is brought into question now about the balancing of the groups.
That's the biggest cope. That's the biggest cope in every Dota League, though. It's always like, oh,
That's
well, my
true,
team's
yeah.
not shit because my team's shit. My team's shit because the groups are rigged.
Yeah.
I'm over here in this group of death, and they're in the Super Weedy Hut Juniors.
True.
Fucking cope, man.
And Badger, you're lads admin, so tell us which group is the group B in the PDC.
I'm in Group B. I'm definitely in Group B, though.
Okay, alright.
Interesting.
Okay, and actually, I still have one last thing. This is the special announcement that I wanted to make before you guys all leave. So, the PDC, the MDTL has when the playoffs start, they have predictions tournament. But not a lot of people predict. Because, it's kind of pointless. Some people do, but not a lot. So what I want to do in the PDC, when we're